And guess what, guys? We're here. The time you've been waiting for and building up for the last couple of weeks, we've got a show for you. This is truly Uncensored with Dan. And we also have the other half of TWRP with us, JC, tonight. And ready, guys? We have Lefty and Righty from Smarkbusters here with us. So, guys, please get those comments filled in and let's have an awesome show, guys. Welcome, everyone.
Well, I can honestly say it is mind-blowing that we're here. Our fans have been driving us crazy about this, and we already have some righty simps for Trap Queen comments going on. So this should be good. This should be good. A lot of people have been waiting for this on both sides.
Hey, there's Danica in the chat. Hello, Danica. How are you doing?
Well, welcome. We're glad that you guys can make it over to VOP tonight with us.
Righteous.
Absolutely.
All right. So, guys, I just wanted to first off just say thank you for joining us tonight. Big thing in the internet community for this to happen. And I just wanted to start this off and say, congrats on getting the Vince Russo interview. That was pretty cool that you guys got that. So, and where are you guys going to go from there?
It's hard because when we decided to do this again, we didn't really plan out, hey, we're going to come back and we're going to do this every week. It's just kind of happened organically. So we're going to just try to keep status quo for now, I suppose. Who knows what's going to happen? The hardest part for us right now is trying to get together to do the videos. And obviously there has to be some semblance of knowledge of the current wrestling product, and I think I speak for both of us when I say it's near impossible to sit through it now. Like that part of our shtick is not exaggerated. I can't stand watching it. It's gotten that boring. So I don't know. We just hit 7,000 subs today, so we'll just keep going status quo, and we'll see how big it gets. And I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Righty?
We've never once made a plan about anything we do. We just kind of turn the camera on and make as many gay jokes as possible. So
That's how you do it, right?
Yeah, that's it. I find with us, I find the more scripted it is, the less entertaining it is. So he's not exaggerating there. We won't talk for a week, and we'll just say, all right, we're doing this thing tonight, and we'll turn it on, and we'll just kind of play off of each other. So I can't really say where we're going to be a year from now or what's next, but hopefully whatever it is, we don't bore too many people and drive everyone away.
Well, I mean, you guys do a good job of taking something that's an inherently boring product and making it entertaining, and that's what still drives traffic to your channel and what has made you guys what you are. And I just was wondering, if you have had a chance to really watch an AEW Dynamite all the way through, if you've ever had to sit through one.
I made the attempt once to do a live reaction to it, and I was so fucking bored. I ended up seeing a combined maybe 2.5 minutes of the program.
Yeah. I've flipped it on, and there's little bits and pieces of it that I can remember. I don't know what I always thought with these super nerd smarks, they wanted to make this hardcore, real serious wrestling product. We put our wrestlers' win-loss records on the website, and every time I've turned it on, it's been so cheesy and goofy. Yep. I don't know if they're that unaware of how ridiculous it is, or if they're doing it on purpose to troll people. I don't know, but I haven't made an official attempt to sit through an entire episode, but I would imagine sooner rather than not, we're going to try to sit through one and seriously do one of our reviews on it, but it's hard. I know you guys do your skip shows with it every week. I don't know how you sit through it. That's rough.
Lots of alcohol
and weed.
Yeah, only way. Yeah. Otherwise, it's completely unwatchable. Just shit.
Kid, just to interject here, this is Dan. Can you do me a favor? JC, could you say hi? Because I don't think people believe you're really here.
Yeah, hey guys, JC, I'm here. I'm alive, kind of.
Thank you.
Everybody's going back and forth in the comments going, JC's not here. I'm like, I'm sitting right next to him. He's here.
Just had to get him close to the mic, so should be good now. All right. Rough. So I was wondering if you guys would be down for an impromptu top 50 sucks on a certain person.
Oh, shit.
I think I know where this is going.
I'm thinking top 50 sucks on Cody Rhodes. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. I thought you were going to pull a fast one and do Triple H, which we're both open to discussing at some point. But I'm always open for shitting on Cody Rhodes. So let's go for it.
Reason number one, every single one of his gimmick has sucked.
Yeah. Every single one.
Yeah.
They're just garbage. I mean, no matter what they do, they can't get this guy to be taken seriously.
Nope.
Ever.
Nope. It's the same gimmick. He's other than Stardust. It's been the same ridiculous gimmick from the beginning too. It's a guy in a diaper, and he can try to be edgy. He could try to change it up. He could dye his hair different colors. He can make stupid faces, but he's just an asshole in a diaper who no one takes seriously as a wrestler.
And the thing about him in the WWE is that all the fucking people always say that he was never given a chance and that he just needed an opportunity to show his true potential. But, like, you know, if you live in the real world and you actually watch the program every week, he was always featured prominently. They kept trying 50 billion new things with him, and it just never worked. And all these people who say that he was getting all these amazing reactions must be living in the Twilight Zone. Because I remember when they were doing their fucking latest gay new gimmick with Cody Rhodes, where he was like stone cold Cody Rhodes scheming with Goldust, fighting the Authority every week. And every week Goldust would be the guy in the tag match getting the beat down, and he'd do the hot tag to Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes would be doing that shit where he's like, come on, waving his arms up and getting absolutely no reaction.
Yep.
So nobody ever cared. This whole fucking mindset that there was this like underground movement to get Cody over just never actually happened. And it all went to his head because now he thinks that he's a hotshot.
Yeah, sadly. And that's the biggest thing, too, is you finally got the smoke turning on him and calling him out for just how much of an egotistical piece of shit he is. And it's about time, because this guy, for too long, has gotten away with just having that big ego and nobody calling him out on it.
Apparently, there's some heat, as they say, in this business between him and the other fucking assholes in AEW, the Young Bucks and Kenny.
Good.
You seen that? Yeah, he hasn't been on the Being the Elite videos. They're trying to say that there's animosity between them or some bullshit.
I hope that the ghost of Dusty was like fucking, you know, haunting him, telling him that he's killing the legacy of professional wrestling.
Hopefully, because he is just doing an awful job. If I were his brother, I would pull him aside and bitch smack him. I'm just like, I don't know how he can go on TV every week and just embarrass himself. And now he's feuding with this Ring of Honor jobber named QT Marshall. I'm not sure if you're aware of this guy.
No.
This guy,
I've heard the name.
Yes. Explain him.
he's basically a fat, dumpy. Who's he like?
He looks like that hype guy that I don't get hype. I stay hype. He looks like him.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
Who got like bad hair plugs? They look like his hair looks like shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just
he looks like
robbery.
looks like a great value Mojo Rawley. I just looked him up.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Great value. I like that. That was good. Yes, he's fucking. And listen, this is the guy in the middle here. He is a useless sack of shit, and his product is. Ugh. I mean, just that. Did you see that video of what's his face Khan before when he's talking to the crowd there for Blood and Guts that he put out? That was like a minute 30 video of Tony Khan explaining to people that you're going to be watching on a screen for the first hour, and it was brutal. This stuttering, stampering, dumb shit trying to explain to people that you're only going to be watching on a screen, but you're going to get one match live. And I really, really want you guys to engage. Just you're going to be the live audience. You're going to be the live audience, okay? You're going to be the live audience, okay? You know,
that's an idiot out of the corporate world who went to these administrative seminars on how to engage with your staff. Who's pulling. Don't even get me started on that. That's what that is.
Absolutely, and you know what? John Gooby is right. Tony Khan will flag this show.
Gooby!
Yeah, I like that. Please. You know, it's freaking brutal. And again, I know it's an NC. I don't mean to go away from your Cody rant here, but Jesus Christ, the production value. I mean, I seen the clips because I can't sit through it. It's freaking brutal, but. That fall, I mean, that was.
It's the thing about the fall, Chris Jericho falling off the thing. It's like the camera was perfectly placed to capture the fucking mattress.
Yeah,
like, I understand you're not going to throw Jericho off a thing. Obviously, I mean, every time Shane McMahon does a jump, there's usually a crash pad. You just don't fucking have the camera literally zooming in on it. Like they have no idea what they're doing.
Yes. Shotzi did a perfect job. Perfect job when she mocked him doing her fall into the bed. Beautiful. That was just beautiful. I'm sorry. All right, I just had to interject that. I'm sorry. You guys go back. I just had to say that shit.
Number 2, way too many pictures with his dogs. What the fuck is up with that? I mean, that's it's a little bit too conspicuous there. I mean, you have more pictures with your dog than you do with your wife. That's just it's creepy.
Maybe it's the other way around.
You never know. He could be married to his dog.
Yes,
it's possible.
He's just an everyman, guys. He's just an everyman. He plays video games. You know,
is it a real dog or like a little foo-foo rat thing?
He's got a Siberian Husky that he's getting freaky with.
It would be more of a problem if it was like a Yorkie or something, but we need to check his contract to see if there's any kind of clause about getting paid in peanut butter.
The gaping asshole dog. Listen, now I want to save Cody's dog and I want to save Biden's dogs. It's official. That's it. Okay.
Nice.
Number 3, he's got to create a wrestler moveset and it fucking sucks.
I've said it a million times on our channel. His stupid finisher, the Crossroads. If you're flipping through the channels, I know people don't like when I say that, guys, nobody watches on cable anymore. When you're flipping through and you see him in his diaper do Crossroads and you have to take a second and think, wait a minute, who did that move? Who did that hurt? Yep. It's a problem. It's the stupidest. He's boring as all end all be all. Dear God.
Yeah, he's just inherently boring. He cannot escape from being boring. And give him
and I don't understand what Jim Cornette saw in the guy.
What, really? He saw something in him?
Yeah.
No, Jim Cornette has to like him because he's related to Dusty, and Dusty used to be an old angry cowboy in NWA, and that's what Cornette thinks every wrestler should be.
Drinking whiskey and saying racist jokes to each other.
Yeah.
Give him another
number 4. Let's see. That fucking neck tattoo. That is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, it's just an autistic 12-year-old could do a better job. What the fuck is that shit?
This is a guy he's got to be close to 40 or in his 40s, and he's trying desperately to look young. It's the same problem that AJ Styles had.
Yeah. I mean, AJ Styles, don't get me wrong, he's got his hang-ups, but that hair right there just sealed the deal. It's like once you get a mom haircut, dude, you're done.
Yeah. And the neck tattoo Cody's rocking, I see all like the young hip like Latino baseball players getting the tattoos in the same spot there. And then you see Cody Rhodes doing it. They're all going to look in the mirror and go, maybe we shouldn't be doing this anymore if this guy's doing it.
Yeah, seriously. Go ahead and give him another one.
It's really bad about this guy. His TV show. It was flop.
Yeah.
The Housewives of Atlanta, the thing he was on.
Oh, yes.
It flopped.
That was a flop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't he? Is this where he tried to do his own reality show with his wife?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't even think that lasted a week, did it?
That failed already?
It got canceled quickly.
Right. Well, you know what's bad? When the fucking guy you're emulating is the Miz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A broke-ass version of...
Yeah. Well, it's almost like if you took like a cheap B-rate Miz and gave him the ego of like somebody like a Triple H, you know? So it's like, that's what I kind of got from him. He kind of like ripped off Triple H even with like the breaking up of the throne. I was like, dude, you are ripping him off hardcore right there.
Yeah.
But again, no self-awareness. And I can't stand people who have no self-awareness and think they're better than they actually are. Like, he's got to see he's accomplished nothing. He really either is just trolling everybody, which I don't think, or he's completely out of his mind delusional with a massive ego, and he really does think he's all that.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense with all the heat that he's getting from the EVPs that, you know, his ego's gotten the better of him and they don't want to work with him anymore.
I mean, I'd say one of them banged his wife, but I don't think they're into her.
No. There's way too many waifu pillow orgies going on back there. I don't think they're interested in actual attractive women. So. All right. Number 6 about why Cody Rhodes is absolutely fucking awful at his job. He is an even more poor man's version of his brother, Dustin.
Yeah.
Yeah, goes back to one of his last feuds in WWE when him and Dusty were trying to be the everyman, taking down the authority. That didn't work, so then he tried to rip off Dusty's Gold Dust with his horrible Stardust thing. Everybody will remember, whether or not he ruins his career by continuing down his smarky path, everybody will look back on the original Gold Dust with fond memories. Nobody will look back on Cody Rhodes and opine for his days of yore in WWE.
No, Never will. I mean, he's just at this point. I think that he's actively ruining any sort of like family legacy that he's ever had. Like at one time, he could at least be looked at as the son of Dusty, and now he's just like that asshole over in AEW. So yeah, there's no saving that.
Absolutely not.
You got another one for him? What about
the Bullet Club?
Oh, dude,
He didn't matter when he was in it. No one gave a fuck.
yeah, he got ousted in the Bullet Club.
He was the least favorite member of the Bullet Club.
It's pretty bad.
Oh, that's right. He legit tried to do that in Japan, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
And they forgot about him quickly.
Yeah.
Just wait until they bring that over here and they try to oh, Cody's joining the Bullet Club in AEW. Great. Nobody outside of the smart community knows what that is.
Exactly. Well, that's the reason why the ratings are in the fucking toilet. Like I retweeted a picture earlier, Canelo versus Saunders got 73,000 people in attendance. Wrestling couldn't get that on their best day.
Well, don't you know that the wrestling's in the best state that it's ever been? I'm seeing comments like that. For whatever reason today, the Smarks are out in numbers today, blabbing about Raw was number one on Monday, AEW was number one on Wednesday, SmackDown's number one on Friday. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
It's like, dude, Cake Wars kicked their ass. Who cares?
But check the demo, though, bruh.
Right? That 0.34, so amazing. Let's finish it up with another one and then move on to something else. Let's go ahead and talk about his awful theme music. Holy shit.
Have you ever had a good theme song?
Never.
No. Never had a good theme song.
You weren't a fan of the edgy, toned down version of Smoke and Mirrors when he was ugly?
No. No.
I think pump you up. Whoa!
Not at all. Okay, so since we finished up with Cody, let's go ahead and talk about Triple H because I'm sure people want us to mention upon that.
Yeah.
So now with Triple H, we were wondering if you guys have had a chance to see any of like the NXTs from this year. I know you guys did a takeover watch through, but I'm not sure if you watched all of it all the way through.
Oh, that was from way back in 2014.
Okay. Damn.
We were supposed to have reviewed that one when it happened, and we never did. So,
oh, shit. Okay, so you haven't seen any of his recent NXT booking?
Not 1 minute.
Nothing other than the commercials for the TV show. No.
I know that they have a guy named Walter who runs around with no knee pad and slaps people. About all I know.
Yeah, he's basically like a German Farva, and he just goes around and chops people and jiggles his titties. It's pretty gross.
But didn't you hear they're leading open the speculation that MLW is going to be part of the draft?
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Whoa,
did you catch that?
Dude, I can't wait. That's
Mind
so
fucking
amazing.
blown, dude.
I am totally smarking out right now, bro.
Forbidden door.
I see you jumping up and down.
Right? Enthusiastically. But yeah, okay, so what we wanted to mention upon is if you guys do happen to ever suffer through a recent episode of NXT, you're going to see, I think, where our complaints with Triple H come from. And the main complaint that we have with Triple H is, don't get me wrong, legendary wrestler, carved out an niche, is one of the top world champions of the Attitude Era.
Well, and he still looks like a world champion.
And he still hits the gym, so that's cool. But our beef is mostly from the booking end and him filling the roster with this just garbage that Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon have to deal with. So, yeah, that's where we sit on that situation there. So we just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, maybe you can help me understand a little bit because I'm not trying to be an asshole. We really do not follow it to the point where I know how involved he is in actual booking decisions. Is that his actual job on NXT? Is he a booker?
Oh yeah, he runs it.
Yeah, that's his company.
Okay. I mean, I would have to sit and I guess the thought that we've always had on this is his hands, from the way we see it, are kind of tied in that your audience that's left, other than people like you and us who have to watch it because we have the YouTube channels and whatnot, I feel like the majority of the audience is this smart, out of their mind, brony, depraved nerds who hijack shows. And it's almost to the point where if they don't give them, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but if they don't give them what they want, they will make the show unwatchable by nature of just hijacking every little thing. And you saw a little bit of that with Roman Reigns in 2015 and 16. And it's clear from, if you followed Triple H's career, he's the type of person, it's a character flaw, but he likes people to like him. He wants to be respected, and I understand what he's doing. I'm sure it's terrible. I'm taking your word on that. I mean, you can just tell by scrolling through the roster page. There's nothing there that's appealing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know how, if he was not in charge, I almost feel that it would get worse, because I don't think deep down he's a Smark, unless you think otherwise.
Well, I finally have seen him put some marketable people in the NXT main event as of like the last, I want to say 9 months with, Karrion Kross and Keith Lee. So at least he's putting heavyweights back in the main event. But then he's putting guys like Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, like cruiserweights.
Well, and the Adam Cole thing, I don't get. He's ridiculous. He's a joke. He's Pippin from Lord of the Rings. I really do not understand why you want that guy anywhere near the main event. And if that's Triple H's doing, then shame on him, because that's ridiculous. He knows better than that.
And then the other thing too is that they brought in this 5 foot tall, 95 pound Japanese chick, this Joshi wrestler.
No charisma at all.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even if he's trying to be liked, the problem with it is that the things that he's doing, it's causing the casual audience to go away. He's driving them away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of the issue I have with Triple H, is that I want him not to keep doing this. I want him to actually show that he's willing to not cave into them. Because I think honestly, they're going to be there no matter what. They're the marks. They're going to watch regardless.
I mean, they were there back in the Attitude Era with wanting Dean Malenko to be a world champion. I mean, shit, I remember the AOL chat room posts. I mean, so trust me, they've always been around, but I can see where you're going from, that he thinks he has a dedicated fan base. But, it's got to sting his ego a little bit, seeing something run by Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks destroying his product to the point that he had to leave to a different night.
That's true. I mean, he's a sensitive guy. Everybody knows that.
My take on it is that I know that he's in charge of booking NXT. I don't know his involvement with constructing the roster. I think that's the duty of the talent relations department. Like they do all the fucking scouting, and they're the people who negotiate all the deals and shit. So I don't know how many of the signings are more due to them rather than him. I'm willing to put the blame more on talent relations just because that's the way it's always been. As far as losing to AEW, I don't think WWE really gave a fuck at all, because regardless of what they're going to say in interviews, NXT is a developmental territory where you learn how to take bumps and shit. It's where you learn how to cut a promo. It wasn't actually a real show. They were just lucky to get it on TV, as far as I'm concerned. Because from what I have seen from NXT, every match has extended segments where they're doing the running the ropes drill. Every single NXT match I've ever bothered to tune into has them running the ropes and jumping over each other and diving to the ground. Every single one. It's very clear from the way those assholes work that they're still developing. So as far as if the in-ring product is shitty consistently, I'm willing to blame that more on the fact that it's not really a show. It's a developmental gig that managed to get on TV because Vince is a good businessman and negotiated a fucking TV deal for it to make more money.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck else was I going to say? I totally forgot. Oh, yeah. So those guys, it's basically just the Performance Center on TV. He's in charge of booking the storylines and shit for it, but is he in charge of, like, Performance Center protocol, like what they're actually being taught? Because
from what I understand, he has Shawn Michaels and Road Dogg in charge of doing the coaching there, and he's got William Regal doing the talent scouting.
Okay,
that's a problem.
but we know that Road Dogg and Shawn Michaels and Triple H and even William Regal, to a certain extent, were all good characters who could cut amazing promos. And if you listen to them, especially Michaels, talk about the business as a shoot, they all understand that it's all about character and storyline and a lot less about wrestling. Shawn Michaels himself even said that, the in-ring product becomes a joke the second somebody hits the rope. So you have to suspend your disbelief and just go with the storyline. So we know what these guys' mindset is. So I'm assuming that if there's an overarching directive to focus on the fucking flippy-dippy work rate shit, it's not coming from them. They're just following orders. We know Vince McMahon is king micromanagement. So the blame ultimately goes on McMahon for everything that happens. Because we know he could say it's Triple H's baby all he wants. Like, we know that's not true. Vince McMahon's not going to let anything happen in his company without his seal of approval. And the most important point that I have regarding Triple H, if anyone else, if Bruce Pritchard was fucking booking this, if fucking, I don't know, if Michael Hayes, if anybody else was booking this, would it really be any better? Like Raw and SmackDown fucking suck asshole just as much as NXT. Like nothing in wrestling is good at all right now. Nothing is going to make it good. I don't think Triple H stands out as an especially poor booker. Like he sucks, NXT sucks, but so does every fucking wrestling show now.
Right.
I can't deny that.
No, true.
Go ahead, Truly.
I'm going to jump in just for a second. I've been seeing some comments that have been going on in here, guys. We have two brands coming together and working together as a team. Please keep it classy and save all your trash talk for later. We don't.
Who's
We're always
talking trash? Is it Smarkbusters people?
Yeah, they're just being fools. It's cool.
Oh,
it's cool.
shucks.
We're focusing on having a good time here, but
Let's just keep it classy, guys. Please, that's all I ask.
No, don't be sorry. I mean, they're doing their thing. It's all good.
We trained them to be this way. That's all. They're just following our lead.
Yeah, it's all good. So as you guys were saying about the whole situation, I think you got some very valid points that you made on that whole thing about Triple H. But my whole thing about Triple H is that I think that if you're in a position like WWE where you can be sports entertainment while they all be that bingo hall indie wrestling bullshit, you can be the better standard. You have a format where you can actually show sports entertainment, build up charismatic stars that can go to the main roster and be something. And when I see all these people that were NXT champions getting called up to the main roster and getting main roster pushes, perfect example would be the 4 Horseface women. Yeah. These women are absolutely fucking awful at their jobs, and all of them are being heavily pushed. And they're all Triple H's girls, so I'm just like, what the fuck's going on here?
Well, let me ask you a serious question now.
Sure.
In your opinion, is that Triple H or is that his wife and he's completely whipped and has no leg to stand on confronting her?
I think both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit of both. I think he's proud of the fact that they came from NXT and he makes it look like, hey, I built these girls. And I think Stephanie, being the PR machine that she is, she's heavily behind them because of, her husband building them. She's proud of him.
Well, and more so for the WWE having a pro-feminist image.
That's right.
As a corporation. So, I just look at it like this. The current, like Shinsuke Nakamura is not somebody that Vince McMahon would ever support like 10 years ago. And I'm wondering what changed in WWE to where all of a sudden now people like Shinsuke and Kevin Oinkins and Sami Zayn, like Cesaro, like why are they now getting preferential treatment now in the main roster? And I look at NXT and I gotta be honest, back in 2014, Triple H was actually running WWE's main roster creative. Like right under Vince McMahon. And so he kind of stopped doing that in 2018. I'm kind of wondering where the whole, and this is kind of an aside too, but like where the whole long match formula came from. And it really did come from NXT.
Well, they definitely pulled in all of the outside indie schmucks and plopped them in NXT first. And that's where that got its foot in the door in WWE.
Right. That's just a wrestling thing overall. And Russo always talks about how in his later days in TNA, when a lot of the old school guys were leaving and they brought in all the indie schmucks that you see nowadays, that as they were fucking like agenting their matches, all they would talk about was spot. So that's a lot to do with like the actual wrestlers on the roster and not so much like creative. Like I don't know who the fuck is agenting matches these days, but I'm assuming the wrestlers have a lot of leeway in terms of getting all their fucking shit in, because that obviously matches aren't supposed to go that long.
Yeah.
So I can blame that a lot on the people on the roster. I'm not sure how involved any of the executives actually are in putting together matches.
Yeah, I'd like to know like Triple H's involvement in it. I mean, but from what we know, he does run NXT. He does write the booking. He's in charge of the creative for NXT. I think it's more of a situation where Vince McMahon oversees the entire company, but he lets Triple H do his thing with NXT.
That could be, but there's also taking into account where NXT, like the way NXT is produced.
Correct.
It's in the same fucking arena all the time, and it's the same like 600 fat people buying tickets every week. Yeah. And the instant feedback that they're getting on everything that happens is this is awesome, fight forever. Absolutely people jerking off in the stands to everything, and we know just from history that wrestling people don't understand TV. At all. They're just going with what they're hearing in the arena. So maybe they honestly believe that this shit is getting over simply because of the reaction it's getting from the crowd.
And I think that's what Triple H may have told Vince McMahon with like why Shinsuke got the push in 2018 that he did. I think he may have told him, hey, look, these guys are getting over at NXT. Why don't we push them on the main roster? I think that may have been the issue. Why he got over and why all like Kevin Owens got heavily promoted and
because why the fuck would Vince McMahon want to push a fat piece of shit like Kevin Owens? I mean,
Yeah.
that has never been like the type of guy he pushed.
no.
So
we just take a minute to talk about how bad Kevin Owens is specifically. He's a joke.
right.
Yeah.
Like, you can pluck anybody off the street and flip a coin, and that's your odds of finding somebody who looks more like a wrestler than this guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, continue. Sorry.
I mean, the point we were trying to get at is that we feel personally that Triple H is responsible for a lot of the garbage that you see on modern television nowadays. And we were just wondering if you had seen any of the parallels. I mean, you guys haven't kept up with the wrestling program. I don't blame you. But that would explain at least where we're coming from on the whole Triple H hate. So just throwing that out there.
I don't think there's any denying that he's proven to be a fucking awful booker of a wrestling show. I just think that every booker of a wrestling show today is terrible. I don't think he's any worse than anybody else.
No.
He's sadly, I really hate to say this, best out of all the smart bookers.
He's better than Tony Khan.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I mean, I will say, even I have zero interest in watching NXT, but if I have Raw or SmackDown on and they show a coming attraction for next week's NXT, just the feel of the commercial is more serious and less goofy than AEW.
Right.
Yes.
That's not saying much, but it just feels better produced than AEW, as terrible as it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's still a WWE program. WWE, regardless of how awful the fucking show is, you can't deny it's a top-notch A+ television production.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So they know what they're doing in that regard always. It's funny because it's like it's completely empty. It's like fucking lipstick on a pig, if I can use that hack phrase.
Yeah, seriously. God, man. I don't know how anybody could sit through that shit, especially like with like Raw reviews. There's a lot of people in the community that do Raw reviews. I could not sit through that shit. You couldn't pay to sit through a Raw.
Like, and what I also don't get is that why are people in our community promoting SmackDown like it's some great thing? It's a lifeless show. It's lifeless.
I love that.
No break.
Every fucking 2 years, it's always, well, SmackDown surpassed Raw. It's the same shit.
Yep.
You're breaking JD's heart right now.
How dare you insult my favorite show, you fucks!
You know what's funny? I know you guys make fun of JD from New York, and I see that name all the time, and I completely, unironically here, can tell you I have never heard of this guy.
I only know his name because
You're
people
lucky.
tell us to make fun of him all the time. But you know how everyone says rant on technical work right now? Before that, it was rant on JD from NY. So
Oh,
I don't know anything about him.
Prestigious company there, right?
Yeah.
So Destroyer BHB was wondering, guys, how is SmackDown better than Raw? It's not at all. It's basically Raw for 2 hours with the blue background.
Yeah,
Well, that's how it's better. It's 2 hours. I'm convinced that's it. Like subconsciously, these people enjoy it more because it's less time just sitting there watching it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Even just from our little run here doing our live streams where I try to sit through bits of the show and watch the highlights, I find SmackDown somewhat less. I don't know what it is about Raw. You sit through that and I contemplate in my head. I visualize nooses and how to tie them while I'm watching it. It's something about Raw is draining for whatever, and it's got to be the 3 hours aspect where you look at the clock and you're like, Jesus Christ, it's only been an hour.
These ads now are like more silly than ever before. Like,
Yeah,
they are,
absolutely.
honestly, they are almost as silly as AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's gonna get to the point where it's just as gay as AEW too.
Oh yeah.
That's just the wrestling audience these days. They demand fucking premium gay porn.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, and it's to the point too where they're really promoting the whole intergender bullshit hardcore. I don't know if you've seen how bad it has gotten, but it's to the point where they're like actively promoting it in AEW, and it's only a matter of time before we see Becky Lynch beat Seth Rollins.
Oh, God.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's clear from what you said about the MLW thing that for some reason WWE is like keeping tabs on what they're doing when they shouldn't be.
No.
So like, if they start doing that, you better believe WWE is going to start doing it.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, like I'm not sure if you guys even know what an MLW is, but it's this company that's owned by a former writer for WWE named Court Bauer. and they have the typical smarky 20-minute long match bullshit. But they do have a couple noteworthy stars. One of them is Jacob Fatu, who is, part of the Fatu family, and he might be an interesting star to bring up. Another guy is Hammerstone. Other than that, they don't have jack shit. So I just don't see why they're fucking doing that. But yeah, it's I just don't understand a lot of things that WWE is doing, for that matter. Have you guys kept up with what's going on with the Royal situation? How they got Cesaro compete against Roman Reigns?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yes, I have zero clue as to what made, and the WrestleMania story with Cesaro and Rollins, where they're making it out to be that he's this blue chipper, who's getting his first crack at the big time when he's been floating around for a decade. It's just ridiculous. Like, does anybody believe he's actually going to beat Reigns? Like, at some point you have to put a storyline out that, even though it's scripted, and if you've been watching wrestling long enough, you can kind of figure out where they're going with it, and it's very rare to get actual surprises. There has to be, at least in the back of your mind when you're watching it, maybe a 1 in 10 chance that this guy's going to win. But with Cesaro, he's not going to win. He can't do anything other than swing people. He doesn't even have microphone skills. He can't talk. He doesn't even speak English.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I think is the funny thing, is that they always tout that Cesaro knows 7 different languages, yet he can't even talk English. So it's like, what's the point? So
he understands 7 languages, but he can't emote in any of them.
Exactly. Yeah, so Cesaro's just absolutely garbage, and that's the same for like most of the top people. Like, one guy I got a rant on, and I'm sure you can sympathize with this, is Tony Khan. Tony Khan, in my opinion, is just the biggest piece of shit out there. I don't know if you've seen what he's done with these channels lately. He's just been copyright striking like
he's out of control.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's creepy too. Like that one girl YouTuber who he had to call out in public.
Girl on Cinema.
It was cringy. What are you doing?
Because it all comes down to him being a fucking nerd. He was bullied a lot, and then here comes fucking Titty Woman making videos about his thing, saying it's terrible. So now he's got to fucking exert his fucking manpower over her, despite being a nerd. Just because he's got money, now he thinks he's somebody. When he's always just going to be a little fucking dork and a half who is shoved into lockers as a Rick Moranis looking asshole.
Yep.
That's all he is. He's never going to get over being a fucking Rick Moranis looking wiener.
That's his role for the rest of his life. I remember an excerpt somebody sent me up from the Young Bucks autobiography, where they essentially said they met him.
Why the fuck are they writing books? First of all, who gives a fuck about their story?
Well, they said that apparently they thought he was a fucking dork the first time they met him, but they're like, hey, he's a dork with money, so we might as well use him. And there it is.
Go. Fucking Tony Khan.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Have you heard the fucking clips of him yucking it up, laughing with Dave Meltzer on that radio show?
Oh God.
Yep.
They laugh together like they're just the two fucking peas in a pod, best of friends, just talking wrestling.
Yeah.
I can see him in the wee hours of the morning in his whitey tighty, sitting at the computer, Googling AEW, looking for videos to flag. Yep. He's the one doing it.
Oh yeah. Well, and he's probably the one that's sending out all these copyright strikes too.
Well, he even said in that tweet that well, this is what's going to happen if you use our content. So even he defended it on Twitter. So it's like,
yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, just guy's a complete piece of fucking shit, but that's most of pro wrestling nowadays. And I just want to get your guys' opinion on Stephanie McMahon.
I'm not a fan of Stephanie McMahon from a couple of perspectives. As a television character, like the minute Triple H started feeding her human growth hormone in 2000, her voice dropped, because that happened. She became unwatchable on television. She was boring. I didn't care about her when she was SmackDown general manager. I didn't care when she came back in 2012 to defend her husband from Brock. I didn't care when she was in The Authority. She's an automatic channel changer. And as far as the booking side of it, I personally believe a lot of the problem with Triple H is that he's whipped, and a lot of these decisions that he supposedly makes are coming from her. So I got no use for her.
Yeah. Little piece of shit. Yeah. I can't stand what I'm seeing and just all the feminization that's going on in pro wrestling. I think she's like really behind a lot of that.
I don't think she's behind it genuinely though, because everybody remembers the fucking creepy camera shots that there would be of her, just her fucking legs and her ass like right in the camera, like 3D. So like she knows what actually sells. This all started because of the way they were booking them when she was there. Like there was that match that was like 30 seconds, and everyone was like, "Whoa, give the Divas a chance!" And she fucking smelled money from the woke crowd, and that's why this is happening. She doesn't actually give a fuck about women's wrestling. We know she doesn't. Because her fucking dad is Vince McMahon. Like, she knows.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm at the point where I think that they're just trying to make money off of agendas and, the fact that this whole woke culture
bullshit. She doesn't give a fuck about Sasha Banks at all. If it was up to her, she'd be women's champion.
She didn't put the title on herself.
Yeah, probably should have.
Right? Would have been more of a ratings draw, that's for damn sure. Yeah, dude.
Real quick, jumping into the comments.
Go ahead, Dan.
What culture bashes Russo and praises fucking Dave Meltzer? My God. As if you need another reason to hate fucking what culture. My God.
Well, that's not Vince Russo mercilessly makes fun of them.
that is sad. That's almost as sad as the Young Bucks having to put out their little PSA the other day. I don't know if you guys caught this one. They wanted to clear the air because people seemed to think that they were right-wing conservatives, and they had to come out and put all the pro SJW things that they support.
That's where all of the is it a coincidence that all of the fucking dirt sheet guys like fucking Keller and Meltzer and Mitchell and fucking all of them are fucking massive liberals?
Yep. Big time.
There was this fucking guy who was arguing with Lefty on Twitter. In his bio, he talks about how he wants to be a pastor, but he's pro-gay and trans women are women, and he's got his pronouns in there. I thought it was a fake account. It was too perfect.
No, he's real. That guy was real.
Wow. Oh,
that's still what surprises me. Like, hey, I'm going to go back to this, but Jackson Riker at least being on Raw, I'm shocked that he's still there, and I'm shocked that he's on TV every week. I am absolutely floored by that shit. I know he's not doing much, but at least he's getting TV time, and I am absolutely shocked.
What did he do?
Well, Jackson Riker,
Trump guy.
Yeah, Trump support. He thanked President Trump last year during the riots and said, "God bless you, Mr. President. Thank you for keeping America safe." And he was removed from TV. They canceled The Forgotten Sons. Now the other two are fucking shit canned. But he's there with Elias, surprisingly. I don't know how he...
Because Vince McMahon, no matter what you want to say about him, politically, he's always been a right-leaning guy. He's a good friend of Donald Trump. So he's not going to give up. That's why all these assholes are like, Vince has got to just die. Like, okay, so that's literally the end of the wrestling business then if Vince McMahon goes.
True.
Carney sideshow at that point.
Yeah. It goes right back to where it was fucking 80 years ago.
Well, Righty, you're not too active on Twitter, but I don't know if you saw the Voice of the People USA YouTube channel. I don't know if it was last night or this morning, actually got taken down.
Last night.
For what? What was the
nobody
reason?
knows.
No one knows? Okay.
Yeah, they really didn't give us a reason. They've been trying to take us down for a while, and thankfully we never cared much about YouTube because we got censored back in 2014. We had over 50,000 subscribers, and they removed my channel with no rhyme, no reason, no strikes. And I appealed it, and they said, "Oh, you were right, we were wrong." They gave our channel back with 0 subscribers. So we never gave a shit about it anyway. That's why I started our own network. But kind of priceless. They look for They really didn't give us a great reason at all either, and they just removed it. And you could appeal it, but you got to go to the actual account that was struck and removed to appeal, and you can't access it. So they basically made it to the point where we can't even appeal it. It's hilarious.
That's just par for the course these days. They don't have to give you a reason.
Nope. That's because the VOP shit, we never really engage in the wrestling stuff until recently, right? And it's fun. It's fucking fun, obviously. And what's priceless is I think we were having a conversation and one of our hosts was literally playing news reports about complications from the things you see on TV all the time, the shots, and that was a reason to strike us. It violated our community guidelines. So it's the most comical shit in the world.
They have 0 tolerance for that subject for whatever reason.
And it is them doing that without telling you why is them violating their terms of service because they are supposed to give you a reason. It just doesn't matter. Have you seen all the people who get banned from Twitter? And like on Twitter, it'll tell you why you're banned, and they'll be like, "You're banned for," and then there'll be a colon, and then there's just nothing there.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes, it's freaking hilarious. But no, YouTube they did us dirty, but it's all right. You know, it's kind of comical.
Well, if this type of thought is going to survive, what you're doing, trying to form your own alternative network, that's the only way it's going to happen. So you have our best of luck with that.
Yeah, I appreciate it both. I really do. I thank you for that. Yeah, it's a everyday fucking challenge. We got tired of being censored everywhere, doing our podcast shit and doing everything else, and just said, fuck it. You know, we bought the server and did our own thing. And, you know, even if they take us down on every social media, we still exist on our own site and our own platform. So what the hell, you know? It's what it is.
It benefits to be a pissant that nobody cares about, I guess, because like we still have our fucking stupid channel. I was a little nervous when I saw that the Sports Kita people shared our Russo thing because I was like, oh, fuck, if people actually find out that we have a YouTube channel, then we're not going to have a YouTube channel.
Give them time. They will find you.
It's going to happen. I've already accepted that's going to happen one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even say anything political. We just say a lot of bad words.
Well, that's all it takes nowadays.
Please.
I mean, shit, if it's not the copyright strikes, it's the community strikes. And just the fact that you can get pegged for cyberbullying and harassment for saying an opinion on somebody, I think is fucking ridiculous.
Yes. Well, you guys have gotten strikes for your top 10 sucks videos, haven't you?
Yep.
That's why we had to take them down. I didn't want to do it, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that have art on for us.
How did they give you a strike for that?
Because it's the psychotic. And if you make, for example, I don't know if you ever did it, but if you make a top 10 sucks, example, Sasha Banks, her fans are out of their minds. They're all a bunch of, they're probably sitting at their computers naked, actively whacking it off as they're flagging your video.
Keep masturbating to that shit.
Yep. You know what the action figures are. You know,
up their ass.
It's fucking sick. They could literally sit there when we do our political shows and tell us that we need to fucking die. We're terrorists. We should die. We hope you get COVID and die. And we say, COVID's a fucking bioweapon. Strike. Like, that's awesome. Thank you. I love it. I love the hate.
You're not saying COVID's not dangerous. If anything, you're saying it's more dangerous. It's a fucking bioweapon. Everybody take heed. It's going to kill you.
Right.
It was engineered in a laboratory to kill you.
That's right. But we can't talk about that shit, you know?
Oh, shucks.
That's all right. Fuck them. Fuck them all. That's how I look at it. Free speech platform. Fuck them.
Yeah. It's sad that something that you guys, especially you built your platform off of this and you're like, okay, well, how much longer can we do this shit because we say offensive things?
Yeah. It's borrowed time. We know that. And we're not going to go back over our, what do we have, 600 videos now uploaded? We're not going to go through each one and try to find little, like at this point, it's out there. Whatever happens, happens. We can't, we made our bed when we decided to upload all those years ago, and it is whatever happens, happens, you know?
And we get too many comments from people saying how much they appreciate the fact that we actually come on and say goofy shit like that. So that's kind of our bit at this point.
Right. Well, I mean, as long as you still get a fan base for that, might as well still give them what they want.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why we're here.
That's right. That's right, man. Hey, so is there anything you guys want to bring up?
What should we bring up that
in terms of the wild and wacky world of wrestling? I don't even watch wrestling, so I don't even know what's important to bring up anymore.
Well, we can talk about Wrestling Otaku stepping away for a little bit.
Oh, Wrestling Otaku, my favorite. I love him.
Oh yeah, that's one thing we share. We both had our beeps with that.
The thing about otaku, I'm a wrestling otaku like aficionado, so I know all there is to know about the guy. He's one of these guys. I don't know how familiar you are with that our section of the YWC. It's not like, you know, the big shot section. It's the little fucking weirdo section. And people in this section, including Wrestling Otaku, make self-important videos saying they're going to step away like every other week, and then they just come back unceremoniously. So he's going to be back before you know it.
Yeah. That's what happened last time. I think he stepped away for like a week and a half, then came back.
Yeah. So he'll be back. He's going to make another video saying anime girls are better than real. Well, he makes that video like twice a year. Anime girls are better than real girls.
He's hoping for those hits, I guess. We got a
Did
couple
you
of-
see the fucking video? I don't know if you actively watch his videos. I can't miss a Wrestling Otaku video when it's uploaded. He made his fucking 5th video this year saying that, oh, women are trash and this and that. And in the middle of the video, he starts having a choking fit. He's like, and he holds up his hands to the camera like, one moment. Starts choking and literally hacks up what can only be described as a ball of cum. Spits it out, walks away from. This is in public. He's standing in front of that library. Spits up the cum bubble, walks away from the camera. You hear him choking. He comes back and he just stands in front of the camera, breathing heavily, like. And then he straightens out his jacket, whatever, and then he goes right back into the video. And I'm like, bro, why didn't you edit this out of the video? Why did you just leave it in there?
Blow that bum behind the building, guys.
He's got some kind of fucking cyst or something on his lip that leaks pus. He's fucking grotesque. I love him.
He's our punching bag, dude. He's our punching bag.
Wait, now, how did you two come across him? Did he,
Oh,
did he do his
the
typical
same way
otaku
we
fit?
did. He made a fucking video about them.
Yep.
The same way we found it.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's how we figured out who the Wrestling Taco is. And then we started doing videos on him. So, yeah. And so that's history for Wrestling Taco. Yep. Yeah. Just a deplorable human being. And it's almost like he realizes that saying funky, weird shit is what's going to get people to pay attention to him. So I think once a month, he just plans on saying something absolutely fucking stupid.
Did you see the video that he made about Charlotte?
No.
Yes!
Where he's simulating eating her ass like a cheeseburger.
I want to eat her ass out like a cheeseburger, guys.
Yeah, I could just picture him fucking chewing on it and making disgusting fucking open mouth chewing noises like.
Yeah, with her flappy dad ass.
But by what metric does Charlotte have a great ass? Like I've said it before, her ass looks like mine. He's such a fucking horn dog. Female girl on wrestling, and he has to like it. Do you see the creepy videos he made on that fucking chick who Tony Khan flagged?
Oh yeah.
I love those.
Yeah.
He
Pretty
fucking
fucking
rules. If you watch him with the right mindset, he is the best channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, he definitely aims to entertain, and he, offers up that entertainment. So just about that. Now, have you guys checked out Girl on Cinema, any of her shit before?
I tried to. I couldn't sit through her videos. I thought they were really lame because she's doing the whole I'm girl who watch things nerd sub to me boob. Okay, I get it. Thanks. I'm sure she's a wonderful lady. Don't get me wrong.
No, she's a cool chick. She's cool. I see where you're going though.
Yeah,
she's
boob.jpg. That's who she is.
Now, out of all the 4 horse-faced women, which one would you say is the most disgusting?
Which ones qualify as the 4 horse faces? It's Sasha, Bailey, Charlotte, and who?
And Becky Lynch.
Okay.
It's
the most brutal to look at is Charlotte, obviously.
Yeah. Well, in terms of posting these pictures of herself in the gym, just lifting insane amounts of weight, and it looks like Dolph Ziggler. It's fucking gross.
In terms of their effect on the show, I haven't watched even when I was watching the show, I wasn't watching the Divas anymore. So as far as I'm concerned, they're all equally unwatchable. Yeah, they just don't bother. It's like, here, do things men do. It's like, well, that's not why anybody ever cared about you. I'm sorry.
Right. Exactly.
I didn't make the rules, bro. I just abide by them.
Yeah, it's to the point where I don't see how anybody would watch this shit and actively sit the way through it if they weren't getting paid to do it. I just, oh god, it's fucking frustrating.
Rough. It is hard to even we've been doing our live streams for a couple of weeks now, and I feel in the back of my mind when I see that wrestling is on, and I don't have an excuse not to watch it because we're doing a stream during the weekend. The kids are asleep. My wife is working. There's no baseball on. I really should watch it. And I'm starting to get that feeling in my gut again that I was getting 5 years ago when we first quit, where it's I start to get a panic attack knowing I have to sit and watch it. I don't understand. I really don't know how they've survived this long doing that because it's been this bad. Well, can I ask, when did you guys start watching? Because I genuinely have no clue how old you are.
Okay, so we got back into watching wrestling, 2016? 2015.
Yeah.
What was it?
2015. Yeah.
About 2015, and then like I want to say end of 2017, we were like, hey, you know, we're watching this stupid shit. You want to start recording it and putting it on YouTube? And he's like, sure. So we started officially taking the channel seriously like about midway through 2018, and just kept on doing it from there. And yeah. I mean,
so that's actually very similar to what happened with us. We quit around the time of the Benoit thing and didn't really get seriously back into it until around 2012, and then 2013 late we started to make the videos. So that's kind of ironic. We followed a similar path there.
Yeah.
Well, it was because of I don't even remember what happened, but the finish of Survivor Series 2013 is what made us start the channel. Because I don't remember what it was, but whatever it was so fucking bad. I guess by today's standards, whatever it was, it probably doesn't seem that bad. But whatever happened at that pay-per-view was so bad, it made us have to start a fucking rip-off WJ YouTube channel.
Was that the one with Sting?
No,
that was the year after.
2013. I think it was something to do with Big Show. And I love Big Show, but whatever happened was so bad, it was intolerable. So we had to make a rant video. And
he's switched alignments so many fucking times. It's like, why even bother? And just the fact that they're using him as an announcer nowadays is just, that's the biggest disrespect right there, is that you take a guy who could legitimately be one of your top draws on a show and you make him an announcer on a backup YouTube channel.
Not only that, but his debut was just introducing Christian.
Yeah.
We're going to bring in this fucking legend by having him go, hey, here's this guy. Like, Big Show is a bigger star than Christian. You should have had Christian introduce Big Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I don't fucking get that at all. And even with Christian, he's like a mid-carder. They pushed him briefly for the world title and then just made him a fucking mid-carder again. So I think Tony Khan he really has it out for WWE guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a WWE mid-carder is always a big fish in a small pond. Look at Christian in TNA. He was a fucking world champion over there.
ECW champion. Yeah. It's just like a real nobody. But that's like most of the shit that they're trying to push. Like right now they're trying to push Orange Cassidy against Kenny Omega. Like, come on, guys. No.
Terrible.
I've always said Orange Cassidy, like Vince McMahon would know what to do with him. He'd be an annoying fucking Santino Marella-esque comedy jobber. Tony Khan sees that the fucking Marks chant fight forever when he's out. So now he's got to be out there like he's like actually somebody. And it's really just embarrassing for all parties involved. And Jim Ross, when he fucking puts his stupid hands in his pockets, Jim Ross has no idea what to say. He's like, oh, this is a very eccentric young man.
At what point are you a backstage person and you put your foot down and say is enough is enough? Orange Cassidy is not a wrestler.
Why? Because they have fucking stupid Arn Anderson there. You think Arn Anderson wants to watch this shit? Where is he? Like, where are some of the veterans that actually offer their input on any of this?
I think
they can't say anything now.
They're doing what Mick Foley is doing, just saying cuck shit to keep a job at this point.
I don't know what the
Mick
fuck
Foley has made it so that I can't even go back and enjoy his work.
I can enjoy getting him thrown off of shit and injured. That's always fun. People are making fun of Zubair in the chat.
Zubair is a soldier, man. He's been doing this shit for a long time.
Fucking Zubair. Oh, good old Zubair.
Well, guys,
you guys know Zubair?
Guys, it is about that time. We got to close out this stream, but I very much appreciate you guys joining us for this. And hopefully we can get it going again.
I think you guys should get Zubair on here one of these days.
We'll consider it.
You have to. Zubair would love that. I would really make him happy. He bought your T-shirt.
Dude, I was very happy when he did that.
He's a fucking asshole. I hate him so much.
Well, listen, before we go, so now that we have all four here, before we close it out, can we officially say whatever beef was there squashed?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So now everybody, for the Smarkbusters fans here, when we do our next live stream in 2 weeks, no more rant on technical work rate comments.
That's a loss.
No more. It's all good. You can see we got along for an hour. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, you understand that by saying that now they're just going to do it more. You understand that, right?
But I'm being serious. I feel like we all got along. We have similar opinions. The things we didn't see eye to eye on, we were it was fine. We'll do it again.
Cool. Hey, you know what? It turned out good, and that's all I can hope for. So thank you for joining us, guys, and we're back on Saturday for Truly Uncensored.
It's my birthday.
Oh, that's right. It's your birthday, so fuck that. Okay, so we'll be back next Tuesday for Truly Uncensored with Dan. So peace out, guys.
There you go.
All right, everybody,
Bye.
take care.
Take care.
Okay, Dan's got to end the show.
Hang on.
You've been listening to another show of Podcast Excellence on the Voice of the People USA Radio Network, where free speech thrives and political correctness dies. To contact us, hit the website at www.vopusaradio.com. On Twitter and Twitch at VOP USA Radio. On YouTube at Voice of the People USA Radio. On DLive, Periscope, Facebook, Voice of the People USA Radio fan and group page. And of course, find the show on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podcast One, Google, Apple, Stitcher, Pandora, and basically anywhere else podcasts can be found. Remember, new live shows can be found every day and night of the week exclusively at www.vopusaradio.com. This is where censorship comes to die, and all voices and opinions are welcome